everybody, it's Cooper here, and welcome to another pickup video. Today I've got a lot of stuff to show you from many different systems, and a good amount for each system here. And there's also a lot of promo stuff and some cool stuff to show you guys, so let's jump into it. First up, I got some more memory cards here, and I always like to just show these at the beginning of the video. But I got two more PS2 memory cards, and I got a big stack of GameCube memory cards here. Two of them are the 59 block, and there's 5 of the 251 block. Next up is this little flash drive, and it's an 8 gig SanDisk, but it's like Xbox 360. That's one side, there's the other side there. And the guy at Game Trader threw this in for free after we had just done like a big deal, so it was cool to get that for free. Next up, from a Craigslist deal that I just did, this is included in there. It's a God of War Hydra Battle demo disc for the PS2. I have lots of PS2 demos, so I'll just add that to the big stack that I already have. Next up is another one of these Campbell's soup things. The other one that I got had Mario and Bowser on the front, so this one is a little different, so I decided to pick that one up. So now I've got both versions. Next up, from the same Craigslist deal where I got that God of War demo, included was this Nintendo storage drawer, or I guess you could call it, but it stores Super Nintendo games on here, and it's got the Nintendo logo on it, so that's pretty cool. Next up, from Target, they have like all these little Mario toys and everything, and this particular box was empty, so I took it to the front and asked them if I could have it, so they gave it to me, and that is this one here. It's a big square box that holds the minifigs for the Kinects. So it opens up there, and there would be like a bunch of little random grab bag style things in there. There's the front there, but I always ask for stuff like this. It's always nice to have like little boxes like that you can put, you know, whatever in. It's cool that they're to get like, you know, Nintendo brand ones. So got that. Next up is a pickup from Goodwill, and that is a big stack of these Pokemon VHS tapes. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's no doubles here, and then this one was a little different. It's Pikachu's Winter Vacation. This one has like white on the sides, and all the other ones have red. But these were 59 cents each. I would love to have a complete set of these one day, but I just never see them, so I picked up these, and it was $5.60. Pretty good deal. Next up, I believe that I got this from the GameStop dumpster, and that is the box for a black Nintendo DSi. And I don't have the system yet to put in this, but I see them at, you know, pawn shops and stuff all the time, so I'll eventually pick one up and put that in here. But it's missing like pretty much everything. It's just got the insert. There's no paperwork or anything with it. Still cool to get for free. Next up is a Salvation Army purchase. I picked up a t-shirt. Is a Turok t-shirt, and it's got this on the back here, but I thought that was pretty cool. It was like $1.95 or something, and it's in my size too, so this is a t-shirt that, you know, I'll actually wear. Next up are some promotional items from GameStop. This first one here I got from the GameStop dumpster, and that is a little shelf hanger tag thing for the 2DS. And there's one side of it there, and there's the other side there. And I had seen this in GameStop for a long time, and I always kind of hinted that I wanted it, but I never like straight up asked for it. And I noticed it was gone one day, and I checked the dumpster, and it was there. So cool to get that. These next promotional items came from inside GameStop. They actually just gave them to me. First up, I got this shelf hanger for Kirby Triple Deluxe. Very cool. It hangs on the shelf like this, and then you see the little Kirby thing in the front. There's nothing on the back, but very cool. And then with that same style, I picked up a Mario Kart 8 shelf tag, and this one's pretty cool. And keeping in the theme of Mario Kart 8, I also picked up this promotional display box for Mario Kart 8. I've got a bunch of these for different Wii U games, so whenever they get like a new one, I always ask for one. They have like 50 of them, so cool to get that. And then next up, I got this Mario Kart 8 poster, which, as you guys probably know, this is the pre-order poster for the game. And my local GameStop, I know the assistant manager there and everything, and she always gives me like all that kind of stuff. So I actually got 4 of those posters. One of them is I'm saving for my friend Sam because he didn't pre-order the game because he's not going to be in town to pick it up, so he's going to buy it when he gets back. And because it's a pre-order only poster, and I got extras, I'm going to give one to him. The other ones I'm just going to be storing away. But if I got the pre-order poster, obviously I got the game. So here's Mario Kart 8. It just came out today, so I haven't played it yet. It's still sealed. I am going to open it though, and I'm planning on using the download code to download one of the games. I haven't picked which game I want to download yet, because I'm pretty sure I have most of them, if not all of them. But my plan is to download one that I have a sealed copy of, so that I can play the downloaded version, and I'll be able to keep my copy sealed and never be pressured to open it if I want to play the game. So yeah, very cool. Glad to get that. It's nice that there's, more quality titles coming out for the Wii U, and hopefully it will boost the Wii U sales. I was watching Lithium's video. It was probably posted a while now by the time I get this video up, but he was showing off these Nintendo pillowcases that he got off eBay and like filled them up and put them on his couch. So I thought that was really cool, and I really liked the way that they looked. So I went on eBay and picked up a few. I got this one here, Bowser one. I got this one. I got this Mario Party one here. This one's still in the plastic thing. And then I got this one here, which is my favorite of the 4. But very cool. I don't have any like stuffing to put in them yet, but I checked at Target, they don't have it, so I'm gonna have to go to like a Joann's Fabrics or whatever. But eventually I'll get those filled up and put on the couch. It's gonna look very cool. Next up, this comes from Game Trader, and I'd seen this there for a while, and I always wanted it, but when I go there and spend a bunch of money, I'm usually just picking up games, so I never really thought to kind of like include it into my bundle of stuff I was buying. But this was extremely cheap, if not free in the end, and that is a Waddle Dee plush from Kirby, which is very cool. It's about, compared to a DVD case, it's about that big, so it's not too big, but still very cool. Still has the tag on it. Official Nintendo product, so very cool. Glad to have that. Next up are a couple Nintendo 64 manuals that I was missing from my collection, as you see behind me here. I have all the games and all the boxes, but I'm still missing some manuals. So my friend had a stack of manuals that he just got, and he asked me if I needed any of them, and these are the 2 that I needed, and he just gave them to me for free. So first up is Knockout Kings 2000 and Namco Museum 64. So very nice of him to give those to me, and those will be going into my games to complete those 2 games, which is very cool. This is from GameStop, and these came out a little while ago, and obviously I had to pick one up. And this is the Peach remote for the Wii and Wii U, and this one's still sealed. I'm not going to open this. I also have the Mario and Luigi remotes, which are still sealed. So it's cool to have all 3 of them still brand new in their packaging, and I've already got a place to put this right next to the other 2, so it's going to look very cool. So that is it for all of the accessories and promotional stuff, and all I have left from now on are games and systems. So I'm going to start with the 3DS games, because there's only 2 of those. First up is Super Mario 3D Land. And I didn't have this game yet. As some of you guys know, I just started collecting 3DS games pretty recently, so I don't have too many, but I picked this one up. This is complete, by the way. I picked this up from a pawn shop for $15, which is a pretty good price still for this game, so I was happy with that. And then next up, also for $15 from a different pawn shop, I picked up a complete copy of Pokemon Y. I already have Pokemon X, which I got through a Craigslist deal a while ago, but now I've got Pokemon Y, so cool to have both those in the collection now, and $15 for that is a great deal. They still go for like $32, $33 on eBay, so was very glad to find that for, $15. Great deal. Moving on to the original DS games. This first one here comes from Target, and this is on clearance, but I was very lucky that I even saw this at the store, because usually when they put games on clearance, they have them in the back on one of the end caps by the video games, which is their electronics clearance section, and I always check there. But right at the front of the store, they have one little aisle of stuff that's really cheap, seasonal things and $1 or $2 items, and they had a little section in the bottom corner of movies and games that were on sale for $5 each. And they had a couple of these. I picked out the best condition one, and this is a factory sealed copy of My Weight Loss Coach for the original DS, and it comes in a big box here with a pedometer, which is very cool, and very glad to get that factory sealed in pretty good shape for $5. So I thought that was very cool and a nice pickup from Target. The rest of these DS games come from Cybertron Games and Game Trader, so two different game stores. And yeah, so these just came stuff that I traded in and used the trade credit to buy some of these, and then some of the other ones I just purchased outright from Game Trader for a pretty good deal. So these are all complete, by the way, and the first one is Cookie and Cream. Then we have Dawn of Heroes. Then Dragon Quest Monsters Joker. Mario vs. Donkey Kong Miniland Mayhem. Mega Man Star Force 2 Zerker Cross Ninja, or Zerker X Ninja, or Zerker vs. Ninja. I'm not sure, but cool to find a Mega Man game. And then Rhapsody Musical Adventure, and I got this one from Cybertron, and I'd been looking at this for a while, wanting to pick this up, but it was marked at $28, and I didn't want to pay that, so I finally had enough stuff to take in and trade in. I had some Genesis consoles and some GameCubes and stuff that I traded in. I got $100 in trade credit and ended up buying a bunch of these DS games here, so that was cool to get that one. And then the last two here are factory sealed. The first one is Deep Labyrinth, an Atlas game here. I was glad to get that one sealed. And then also my first DSi game. And if you guys don't know, there's 3 games that were released for the DSi that you can only play on the DSi because they use the camera. So 2 of the games are very cheap. You can find sealed copies for $10 or under. One of them is kind of expensive, and unfortunately this is one of the cheaper ones. But I found this at Game Trader for $5, but in the end I probably paid $1 maybe. But that is Flaw. And as you can see, it says DSi on the corner, and then the edge is a lot, way different than a regular DS game. So, very glad to get that, and hopefully I will complete the DS collection, or the DSi collection, very soon. Probably the smallest set to complete for any system, 3 games. But, very cool to get those. Moving on to Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, and Game Boy Color. Some of these I already had the boxes and manuals for. I just needed to pick up the cartridges, which I did from Cybertron when I traded in some of that stuff, and then I also picked up some of them from Game Trader. So the first one here, I already had the box and manual for this, and I picked up the cartridge from a pawn shop actually for $1.99, the same place that I picked up the Mario 3D Land. In that same deal, I picked up the cartridge for That's So Raven 2. Nothing spectacular, but for $2 to complete it, might as well pick it up. I've been looking for the cartridge for a while. Game Trader didn't have it, Cybertron didn't have it, so decided to pick it up there. Next up, I got this box and manual from Salvation Army the same day I got the Turok shirt, and I thought that it was complete when I bought it, and then realized when I got to the car that there was no cartridge in it. So I ended up finding the cartridge at Game Trader and got it for, free basically. But that is Barbie Horse Adventure Blue Ribbon Race. Once again, nothing special. Next up is the only Game Boy Color game. I got this complete from Cybertron on trade credit for $5, and that is Quest for Camelot. And then I had the box and manual for this for a while, and I got the cartridge through a Craigslist deal, and that is Batman the video game for the original Game Boy. Glad to finally find the cartridge for that. I've been, keeping my eye out for it for a long time, just never come across one. Next up is another original Game Boy game, and this one came from Cybertron as well. I think this one was marked at 15, but like I said, it was trade credit, and that is Wizards and Warriors X Fortress of Fear. Pretty cool. And then the last two here are Game Boy Advance games, and these ones, once again, I already had the boxes and manuals, just needed the cartridges, and picked up both the cartridges on trade credit from Cybertron. So the first one is Phantasy Star Collection. I got the cartridge from them for $8 on trade credit, and then the other one is Super Robot Tyson 2 Original Generation, which is an Atlas game, and this one was marked at like 15. I know it's a more expensive title, and I know it's more than that on eBay, because I looked it up before, and I decided not to pick it up and just thought maybe I'll find it in the wild one day. So glad to get that one and complete that game. That's a cool one to have complete. Moving on to the Wii games. Nothing really spectacular in the Wii games this time. Mostly just filler titles, so I'm going to go through them pretty quick. First up is Jeopardy! My friend Sam gave this to me, which is pretty cool. And all these games are complete. So next up is Offshore Tycoon. And I got this from GameStop for 89 cents. So, not bad. Next up is Six Flags Fun Park, and this one is complete, and it says on the front, like, it comes with a ticket, and that ticket is in there, so cool to get that. I also got this from Cybertron. I had like $2 left over on my trade credit. I had like $100, and I had spent 98, so I picked out this one to even it out. Next up is Billy the Wizard Rocket Broomstick Racing. This one I also got from Cybertron. It was like $2, I think. Next up is Victorious Boxers Revolution. This is an X-Seed game, and I picked this up from a pawn shop for $1.99, and I'm not sure what it goes for, but I figured $2 for an X-Seed game. Even if it is boxing, can't complain. Next up from GameStop, I picked up NHL Slapshot. I already have this game, but I have a factory sealed copy in the big box with the hockey stick, and I didn't have just like a regular copy of the game yet, and I actually bought this one to sell because these are at GameStop for $8.99, but they go for like 15-ish to 20-ish on eBay. So I picked it up to sell and realized that I needed to, add it to my collection because I didn't have this like version of it yet. So keeping that one. Next up is the King of Fighters collection, the Orochi Saga, and I got this one from Game Trader. And then this one I got from a pawn shop for $5, and this is, or $4, excuse me, and this is Hasbro's Family Game Night Value Pack, which has the first and the second games in it. So like 2 games in one basically. But that was pretty cool, and $4 for this is a great deal. Those like Family Game Night games are still a little expensive, so it's cool to get that one. Next up are GameCube games, and there's a couple of cool ones in here. But first up, from the Craigslist deal I just did earlier, where I got the God of War thing in the Super Nintendo case, there were some GameCube games in there, so some of these come from there, but included were the ultimate codes for Animal Crossing, which is cool. I kind of always wanted this, but I never really wanted to pay for it, so getting it through Craigslist deal was cool because I got it for free basically. Next up is All-Star Baseball 2000, just a game that I didn't have. Same with 18-Wheeler, this came from the Craigslist deal. The Italian Job, this also just came from that Craigslist deal. Crash Tag Team Racing, I got this for $2 from a pawn shop, and I thought that I had it, but checked my list online and realized that I didn't have it, so for $2, pretty good deal to pick up that one. And then these last 3 here are a little more special, I guess. The first one here was $15 from Cybertron, but once again, I got it through trade credit, and that is Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. More of an uncommon title. Not like a rare game by any means, but still, I've never had a copy of it, so it's cool to get that one knocked off the list. Next up here, this one comes from Game Trader, and this is a factory sealed copy of Rampage Total Destruction. It was marked at like, like 10 or 15, but of course I got it for like $5. So to get a sealed copy of that for like $5 was pretty cool. And then last up, this one came from Game Trader as well, and I got this. I originally was buying this one to sell it, and then when I got home, I was going to compare it to my own copy to see, which one was in better condition and keep whichever one's better. But I realized I didn't even have it yet, so I'm glad that I didn't sell this, and that is a complete copy of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. So, cool to get that one, add that one to the collection. I'm very glad that I didn't sell that. Moving on to the PS2 games, there's a couple sealed games in here, a couple cool ones. First up, just some filler titles I didn't have. MLB 2004 and MLB 2005. These came from Game Trader, and they were like $1 each. Next up, also from Game Trader, is DICE, DNA Integrated Cybernetic Enterprises. And these are all complete. Next up is a factory sealed game, and I got this from Goodwill for 99 cents, and that is a factory sealed copy of Final Fantasy XI Online Chains of Promethea expansion pack. Now, I already have one of these, but I don't have a sealed one, so it was cool to find that, and for $1, you really cannot complain. Next up, these both come from Game Trader, and I picked these up at 2 different times. I went there once and I bought a copy of it, and I came home and put it in my box to put in the next pickup video. But before I made that video, I went back to Game Trader for a second time, forgetting that I bought the first copy and then bought another copy to keep, and when I got home, went to put it in the box and saw there was already one in there. But I compared them, and they're actually both different, so I'm going to be keeping both of these. And the difference is kind of weird. I don't know if you guys know anything about this, just let me know, but it's 2 copies of Monster Rancher 3, and the difference between them is that the first disc is just regular, what you'd expect, but the other disc here is like, I don't know, like holographic or something. I don't know if the differences are gonna show up well, but this one over here is like really shiny. It's hard to tell on camera, but it looks way different from the other one. So if you guys know why that is, please let me know. But for now, I'm deciding to keep both of these because it is like a weird variant. And then the last PS2 game here comes from a pawn shop. I got this for $2, and that is a factory sealed copy of Resident Evil Outbreak. So I was really excited to see that, and for $2, it's a pretty good deal. And I was excited to see a factory sealed PS2 game at all, but for it to be Resident Evil was very cool. These are Super Nintendo games, and before you get excited, there's nothing special here. These all came from Game Trader, and they were all really cheap. So first up is Super Black Bass, and the price tags are not what I paid. Of course, I get stuff for really good deals there. Super Baseball 2020, and some of these are missing manuals, and all of them are missing the trays actually, but still. Faceball 2000, and then the last one is Top Gear 2, which is a little bit pricey to get like a complete copy, but still not even that much, just compared to what normal complete Super Nintendo games go for. But still cool to get 4 more Super Nintendo games and be adding some more retro stuff to the collection. It's always nice. So now moving on to the systems here. I have 3 systems that I'm adding to my collection. The first one here comes from a pawn shop, I believe. Yeah, I got this from a pawn shop, and I got this for $20 or $25, and that is a complete in box black Nintendo DS Lite. And everything's in here. I'm not going to take it out, but it has the system, the charger, the stylus, paperwork, all that. So cool to finally add like a boxed DS to my collection. The only ones I have are 4 factory sealed 3DS XLs, and I didn't have like an opened like DS or 3DS, so this is the first one that I can actually play on if I want. So it's cool to get that, and $20 or $25, whatever it was a pretty good deal for that. Even excuse me, even like without the box, it still go for like $30 or $35. So I was glad to get that. A black Wii, and this is the new Super Mario Bros. Bundle here. It comes with like the soundtrack and the game. Unfortunately, this particular one does not have the game or the soundtrack in it, but they're not that hard to find. You know, I come across that Mario game in the small sleeve every once in a while, so once I get those, I'll put those in here and complete it. Other than that, everything else is in here. The system, the cables, controller, paperwork, all that. Even the manual for the Mario game's in there. It's just the Mario game itself is not. But I picked this up, once again, I picked this up to sell, and then when I got home realized I didn't have this bundle yet. So I have 2 black Wiis besides this one, but one of them is in a longer box that comes with Mario Kart and a wheel. Then the other one comes with Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. So I always keep like all the variants and stuff like that. So this is a different system bundle. Got to add it to the collection. And like I said, I got this from a pawn shop, and this was, I believe it was 25 or 30. It was really cheap, but still very cool. And then the last system here is something that you might think is a little weird for me to add to my collection. If you know like what kind of stuff I collect and everything, and I only collect stuff that's like complete in box and all that. And this system does not have the box, so I guess I'm not really adding it to my collection, but I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it for a specific reason, and it's not really a collection reason. So I guess you could say that I'm not adding this to my collection, but I am keeping it, and that is a Superboy. And it comes with the carrying pouch here and a charging cable, but you know, no box or anything. And I actually got this through a Craigslist deal, which was very weird. I got this from like a 35-year-old woman who had, I got this from her, a couple Super Nintendo systems and a bunch of games. I thought it was kind of weird that she had it, but I'm going to be keeping this because I buy a lot of games at pawn shops and thrift stores and flea markets and Craigslist deals and all that. So this is something that I'm gonna take with me whenever I'm buying like Super Nintendo games, so I can test them, especially if it's something rare. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and test like a bunch of common games, but if I'm buying like an Earthbound or, you know, anything expensive, I'm going to want to test it before I buy it to make sure that it's, you know, legit and everything. So this is a smart thing to have, and I'm saving up for a car. Hopefully once I get that, this will be staying in my car and going with me whenever I go game hunting. And that is it for this video. Like I said, nothing too special. Some cool stuff though. A nice variety of things too. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.